Gotta love it when I start something like this with a fucking cough, but later. Okay. So, I just woke up, but I want to get some shit off my chest, and then we'll probably invite some people to stream on Xbox, get some their opinions about some shit, stuff like that. But I have an issue with Wildcard. And currently streaming this on Twitch, but I am going to upload this entire stream to YouTube in its entirety. I'm going to try not to edit it or anything like that. Oh shit. My dumb moment, I guess, for today. Get my element, I'm gonna set myself someplace, get some food on my character, and then I'll go into my detail with what that issue is. So, that will put, so I can fly. I'm gonna place myself right here for a few. Alright. So, some of the people that I will hopefully be inviting to my stream. Oh, I didn't even realize Ducky followed me. Ducky, if you see this, thank you. It was like 24 days ago, but you know. And as some of y'all might know, about a month and a half ago now, give or take, October 27th, guy was advertising that he was going to do Alpha King Titan, was inviting people on my server to come for free. Most people I know don't even charge for Alpha King Titan, so I didn't see really an issue. Excuse me. But like I said, I'm just waking up. And so he was inviting people to come over, do it with him on my server, on my Extinction server, and shit. No, said he was providing everything, yada yada yada, and he just needed an, to be able to ally us, or ally whoever he was going into the fight with. So my wife saw it, said, "Hey, someone's doing the boss fight on Extinction. You want to go?" Or something along those lines, and I said, "Yeah, fuck yeah. Why not? Free boss fight, you know?" Yeah, this time, I was on, I want to say, a Lost Island server doing a trade. So, I was like, yeah, see if he'll wait 7 minutes. That's all I have for my timer, and I'll be over there, yada yada yada. He said it was cool. My wife went ahead and went over. And the dude tried to, what he said, to ally with her. But he comes back and goes, oh, it's not letting me send the ally invite, or, it was something along those lines. Or, so the first part of this story is a little bit fuzzy for me. I'm not gonna lie, because I was paying attention to my own game. But it was either that or my wife was like, it won't let me accept it, or something along those lines. And he's like, oh, must be a glitch. I'm gonna have the tribe leader, which is me. So I was like, okay, cool. Ark has been glitchy a lot, and this was around the time they, I think it was like 2-3 weeks after they had rolled back the servers too, for the hacking incident that they had. So, I was like, okay, cool. I went over, got back on my server, put up my babies that I had just gotten, because, like I said, I was on the Lost Island doing a trade. I was getting some baby Deadpool Spinos, Ab Spinos, and I went over. I was like, go ahead, send the ally invite. And like I said, the first red flag for me should have been when he said that he needed a tribe leader. Because in all reality, even if Ark is glitching, you don't need the tribe leader to do an ally, to do an alliance. All you need is one of your tribe's admins. So I went over and shit, and he sent me an invite, and without even reading what the invite was, I accepted it. And ended up in his tribe, thinking maybe Ark was really being glitchy. I was like, hey, shit, I'm in your tribe, what the fuck? I think Ark is just being stupid. So, I actually thought I had left the tribe, that I had left his tribe and rejoined mine, but come to find out that as soon as I hit the leave button, he had booted me. And it's not going to be in my tribe logs anymore, but I will try to upload photos, or maybe put it in a Google Drive or something and link that so y'all can see the conversations and shit like that with this dude. I don't know how I would actually do that, but I'll figure that out. Let me know if y'all guys would like to see the photos, because I believe, while I'm streaming this, I believe I still have all the photos, and if I don't, I have chats with people, so I can get all the photos. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I sent everything to one person in particular, now that I think about it. Let me check that real quick. I believe I still have a conversation with her. Yes, so I still have all the photos, some evidence from other people. So yeah, I still have all of that. And then the new evidence that I have, my wife sent me on a secondary Xbox account, so I still have that too. Okay, cool. So we'll figure that out. I might make a new Gmail or something, upload all the photos to OneDrive, so y'all have access to all of that. I don't know yet. But anyways, at the time, I thought I had just left his tribe and rejoined mine. Okay? So me and my wife were just standing around, waiting, because he had dropped us some flak and stuff. So that's why we thought that the fight was legit, and that shit was just glitchy. So he disappears, and I guess now would be a good time to go over here as well, so y'all can see his gamer tag. So, because there's two people involved in this story, I am going to set that right there. So, Elder Doof is the person who started this entire thing with us. And now I'm going to use his actual name. That's his Xbox gamer tag. His name on Ark is Hey Yo, I believe. see if I can get that skiff out of YouTube. Okay. So, about 3 to 5 minutes waiting around, it dawns on me of what I did. And I'm like, shit, we need to go check our fucking bases and shit. So I fly over to my wife's storage area, and Lord and behold, I see the building in his ownership, in his tribe. Now, if I'm not mistaken, his tribe name was originally Hay or some shit like that. And then, in the midst of doing the alliance with us, he changed his name to Alliance Kingfight or some shit like that. Because that's the way they do this. They have a tribe, they set up a tribe, and then when they send the merge request under the false pretense that it's a alliance invite, they change their tribe name to Alliance whatever fight they're doing. So, me and my wife start panicking, thinking that, maybe it was just a mistake. Maybe he, because we're very trusting in people. We don't like to think that people would actually go out of their way to fuck somebody on purpose, especially on my Extinction server, because I have met so many nice people on Extinction. I've helped a lot of people on Extinction, so, thinking maybe it was just a mistake, we were like, hey, yo, what's up? I accidentally merged with you, what's up with that? And he just starts ignoring us. Like, we're posting in public chat trying to get his attention. Then that's when the reality of the whole thing really starts to kick in. We show up at my wife's base and see that he has cryoed her giant turtle. The beehives have been destroyed, the bees have been killed, and we're like, dude, what are you doing? Stop taking our shit. And stuff like that. Like I said, I have the photos of the conversation. I don't really remember what all was said, but everything is gone. He's cryoing her shit. People on the server are like, hey, what's going on? We're, explaining to them, and someone from another tribe's like, yeah, this guy's a scammer. This is what he does. Yada, yada, yada. And lost everything. Probably a good 1,300 tames. We lost all of our bases and whatnot. And I know what y'all probably be thinking right now. Well, if you lost all your bases on Extinction, why are you at a base on Extinction? I'm going to explain that, because this story gets better. So, the next day, we get in. Me and my tribe mates are in a party together trying to figure out what we're gonna do about this. And so, the female tribe mates that I have, because I'm pretty much a guy in a tribe by himself with a bunch of women, which is awesome, by the way. I love my tribe mates, they're fucking amazing. We get aggravated at one another, but they're fucking amazing. So, eventually they get into a party with this guy and this other dude named Peter Zombis. As you can see, his name is written on my board here as well. I will be adding on to this because I'm going to start calling out people for doing this shit. I'm at the point not in the party with them because I am still extremely pissed off. I had barely slept. Because what a lot of people don't, and actually I'll get to that point here in a little bit. Actually, now that I think about it. And, so, and you know, they're in a party with a bunch of their friends, 10, 11, 12 people, some shit like that, from what I was told. My tribe mates, Dead Queen, Chicken, and Freya, all go over to his party, start asking what the fuck, you know. And these guys are so fucked up in the head that the first thing that comes to their minds is, oh, send us nude photos. Send us inappropriate photos of you. And I'm just like, when I hear this, I'm just like, what the hell? So, come to find out, these guys do this as fun, for fun, I should say. They go around, and this is what they started telling them. That they go around, they steal bases, and then they sell them for money. Either back to the original tribe, or to whoever wants to buy the damn base. So, start getting into conversations with them. I finally get into a party with them, and at that point it's Elder, Peter, Dead Queen, Chicken, Freya, and myself. And they're like, oh, if you want your base and shit back, it's $50 PayPal, yada yada yada. Otherwise, we'll sell it to the highest bidder. They said some shit like that, or you know, we're listed on eBay, Amazon, whatever. We do this all the time. And at that point, it's mostly Peter doing the talking. Now, this is before we find out how deep this goes. Okay. So, another friend of mine's like, you know what? I'll pay him. Whatever. You know, hoping maybe we can get some evidence to send into Wildcard. And at this point, we had already submitted tickets to Wildcard. All of us did. Peter's like, yeah, don't bother sending in a ticket to Wildcard. They won't do anything about inciting. You know, we've done this hundreds of times. We've made thousands of dollars. You know, Wildcard, it doesn't go against their code of conduct to do this to people. But we wanted to try anyways because, you know, you never know. People like this lie. In fact, all these two guys did the whole time is lie to us. Because the whole time, Peter's like, yeah, your tames are still at y'all's bases. We haven't moved them yet. When they already had. And we knew they did. They had wiped out my base. They had wiped out my wife's base. And yes, this is the base that they took from me. I will actually explain. Like I said, I'm going to explain everything in this video because I have an issue with Wildcard. So yes, this is the base they took from me. That's my friend's base up there. I have another friend's base below me. I have another friend's base right down there. We have bases in the desert, the snow, the city. They took all of that from us at the time. So, for whatever reason, Because, you know, we just wanted our shit back. So we try to pay him. The payments won't go through. Or at least that's what Peter says. We tried several different ways to get this done. And like I said, we found out that this went really deep because not only did they admit to doing this for fun, but they also admit to doing it for mercenary work. And again, I don't know how true this is. This is just what we were told by them. Okay. They admitted that someone had approached them, asked them to inside me, and that they were paid to do so. Again, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we were told. So, some time goes by, and I'm going to try to skip over now the itty-bitty bullshit, while still telling the complete story from my side. Okay? They had invited my female tribe mates because we decided it was best for me not to be involved in it. So, to stop them from approaching me, we came up with this whole story about how I was in an accident. All of this other shit. And whatnot. Because we knew they were lying to us, so we were like, fuck it, let's see what happens. Maybe we can lie our way into their tribe. Maybe get some of our shit back. Yada yada yada. So, they got put into one of their tribes on Crystal Isles, and the next day they were approached by who I'm going to call Void. I'm not going to give out their whole gamer tag. I'm not going to give out too much information about them, except for what I have to. Like I said, I might invite this person in if they're willing to tell their story. And they message, I believe, Dead Queen. It was either Dead Queen or Chicken. And was like, hey, that's my base. I can prove that it's my base. You know what's going on. They start talking back and forth about how we were inside it, and then she was telling them our story, and then they were like, yeah, this just happened to me too. This is the time it happened, and we found out that this person was hit about 2.5 to 3 hours before we were. So they were hit before us. Out of curiosity. Okay. Yes, I don't care if y'all know what extinction server I'm on. This is no longer my main server, so it doesn't bother me. So, at the time, we were like, okay, cool. You know, you've proved that it's your base. We'll try to get the eggs and the babies you have left back to you. Yada yada yada, because either Elder or Peter or both of them admitted to only taking the full grown shit because they have no need for the babies, because apparently they can't play this game legitly. They don't want to raise shit, they don't want to fucking build shit legitly, they just want to steal people's shit, because that's what they find fun, I guess. So anyways, we get Void what stuff we can back. I've talked to them several times. Awesome person. If you ever come across them, amazing fucking person. We have talked, like I said, several times. And I'm going to try to include everyone that's been hit in this. In the order that we found this out on. And so, a couple of days after that, or so, we find out on another server. Oh, and Void was hit on a Crystal Isles server. I will give out that information. A couple of days later, we find out that another girl was just hit on a RAG server. And we found this out through my old tribe leader, who I'm still really good friends with. She's awesome as well. And shit. And she invites me to that Facebook group and tags me in that post. And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm going to PM you. Let's talk. We get into a party with her. Same shit that happened to us. Except this time it was Peter that went over and did it. Peter had went over and said, hey, I'm doing Alpha Crystal Wyvern Queen. Anyone wants to join? He tried to... this was on RAG. So Alpha RAG, not Crystal Wyvern Queen. That's my bad. Crystal Wyvern Queen was when Elder hit Void. Peter was like, hey, I'm doing Alpha RAG. Tricked this girl named Kitty. Same way Elder did to me. Peter got tricked her into merging with him and took all of her shit. Ended up supposedly selling it to this guy named Monkey, who I think was in on this the whole time as well. And by the way, at this point we were also talking to this guy named Impish, who was also a friend of Elder's and Peter's, who said that he was tired of being abused by them and wanted real friends, wanted a new friend group. And we were talking to him at the time, trying to help him get out of this fucking dumbass group that these guys have. So anyways, and then we started talking to Monkey. He was like, yeah, I don't want to be a part of this, and supposedly sent the money back to Peter. Supposedly. And then Peter was like, well, Kitty, if you want the base, you can buy it from me. $50 and you can have all your shit back. Kitty was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And like I said, I have met some amazing fucking people through this entire ordeal. And whatnot. So. Oh, and at this point too, Peter, Elder, and some of his friends had started to tell people like Kitty and Freya that they should go unalive themselves. Yeah, let that one sink in. And I already knew these guys had no standards and no morals, because they had already started asking for inappropriate pictures of my female tribe mates. So, I already knew they had no morals or standards, but I didn't think that they would stoop to that low. And the thing, and this is now the point that I want to make about this, these guys have no concern whatsoever for anybody who plays this game, or why they play this game. Come to find out, and if she sees this and I'm incorrect about this, she will correct it, and I will make another video correcting this point. But I believe that Kitty told us that she played this game to, like I do, escape the real world. Because some people don't handle the real world like everyone else does, and they need an escape. And that's what it is for me. This game is my escape. I come here to meet great people. I come here to make friends. I come here to hang out with my tribe mates. people who I have connected with on very personal levels that I can't connect with the same way in real life. You know, this is a fantasy game, and some people play this game, and I know this is going to sound crazy to some people, but some people play this game like it were real life. Like it was real life. And, you know, and shit, and they're telling people to go unalive themselves. Not realizing the real life consequences that could have on their lives. If someone were to be stupid and do something. And this is all leading up to my issue that I have with Wildcard, because by this time, Wildcard had politely told us to go screw ourselves. That they were not getting involved in this. That there was nothing they could do about it. When, to me, this is the same thing as hacking your game. And if you're willing to roll back the servers because of hackers, why are you not willing to roll back your servers for these two douchebags going around stealing people's shit and stealing people's tribes? That was basically what these hackers were doing when they rolled back to servers. They were going in, not only selling admin privileges, but also wiping people's bases, wiping people's tames, and shit. I know the situations are very different, but they're very, very similar. But anyways, and that's when I discovered that these two guys, and soon we found out what Impish was really up to. He's lucky I don't add his name to this fucking board. But anyways, of how low these guys would sink. And I believe at one point Elder admitted to Queen that, you know, he only does this for attention, and if people don't give him the attention he wants, he just lets people's shit decay. Which is evidence. We have evidence of that. But I think there's a little bit more to that. I'll get there in a second. So, shortly after we found out what happened with Kitty, probably no more than a day later, we find out that Elder went and stole a base from a 13-year-old kid. Again, no standards, no morals. A 13-year-old fucking kid had his base and all of his tames stolen. 13 years old. Let that sink in. I have not been in contact with that kid because obviously I don't have to be, and I have no need to be, because I already know it's going to be the same bullshit story. And around this time, Peter admitted to Queen that they were actually teaching people how to do this too, because someone on my server ended up stealing a base from someone else. And I need to add his name to the list. He just constantly changes his tribe and shit, so I don't really see a reason to, but I might have his Xbox gamer tag, but that story is for another day. That dude pisses me off too. So, shortly after that, he hits a girl named Ducky. Either her or her friend made a Facebook post in a group, or they commented on mine saying that it had just happened. I got into it. I went over to her Extinction server, and sure as shit, her shit had been stolen too. So let's recap this. So far, 1, Void, me, 2, Kitty, the 13-year-old, Ducky. That's 5 people. 5. And this is just who... So, again, same story. Said he was doing Alpha King Titan. She said, cool, I'm in. Tricked her into merging. So, shortly after that, Elder was dumb enough to put my tribe mate Queen into his 990 Extinction tribe, which, just so y'all know, 990, right there. With the promise that we could have our tames and get the tames off the server. And he ended up making her owner. We kicked him. She invited me. We invited some of our old tribe mates, because some of them haven't been on again, to add. And we got our base back. Which started a whole new bullshit of drama. So, apparently that pissed them off, because supposedly he had something on this server that mattered. He wanted it back. Started trying to negotiate to get our base back. Said, and we were just like, just give us our tames, let us leave, we'll give you back the server. Because at that point, I had already made a decision that I was going to make another one of my servers my main home. And that went on for a couple of days. I had surrounded this building here, the upstairs with cryo fridges, pin coded them, whole 9 yards, and said, hey, once we have our tames, we will give ownership back over to you, and we'll leave. We'll never hear from you again. You'll never hear from us again. That went on for a couple of days. Both sides decided that they were not going to budge, because he said that, like, we would really believe him in the first fucking place, because all him and his friend Peter did was lie to us constantly. It was lie after lie after lie. He was like, oh no, if you want your tames, the first thing you have to do is give me ownership. I have to boot y'all, and then I'll put y'all's tames in a building with and unlock the door and pin code the cryofridges. We were like, no, that's not gonna fucking happen, because we already know you can't be trusted, because you go around doing this to people for a living. You have admitted to inciting people. You have admitted to doing this about 200 times, making thousands of dollars. No. Well, that pissed them off. He decided he was going to bring our tames over to my base, start killing them in front of us. Went on this tirade and fucking global chat saying that this was his server, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, that he was in charge. Started saying that he was dropping our stuff in the scars for the corrupted to kill. Like, we really give a shit. They're fucking tames. Yes, we wanted them back, because all we do is really we breed and we give shit to people for free. The only time we don't is when I'm running low on poly and I need poly to go buy shit that people will want, and I will breed that stuff to give away for free. So and Shortly before this happened, about a day or two before, somehow he got my friend Queen's personal cell phone number, started harassing her and shit. And then the day we pissed him off, he posted her phone number in global chat on Ark. I mean, this dude was pissed. He started saying shit to me like, oh, aren't you the guy whose wife left him and shit? Thinking that we were actually being honest with him about that shit. And whatnot. Because again, we felt it best for me not to be involved, so we needed ways for me not to talk to him, not be available to talk to him. Because I have a very short fuse, and I don't deal with dumbass people. And shit. So at that point, I'm like, everyone in our tribe just needs to block these guys. Impish has shown his true colors by giving information to Elder. Peter had just acted like a fucking tool, so I blocked him probably 4 or 5 days before the incident with Elder. To this day, we still haven't found whatever is so important. He claims to have a base on this server too, and that's why I added the tribe always watching, because that's his tribe name on here, unless he's changed it recently, which he probably has, because he's a coward. And oops, did not mean to do that. Sorry about that small interruption. Don't have a fucking mute button. It would help if I did. So, you know, we've just done our best to be done with the situation and not let these fools, these cowards, these disgusting people get to us. Now here's where I get into, and I'm sorry I had to go into such a long story just to get into my issue about Wildcard. So, the issue I have with Wildcard is, honestly, I get it. I get why they did it. In 2019, because this is the research I have done, this is what I have found out. Again, if anyone can collaborate this information or give me the correct information, that's cool, and I can do another video, link this one to each other, yada yada yada. That in 2019 they changed their code of conduct to not include inciting as a way to break their code of conduct and whatnot. Because I have heard so many stories from veteran people that have played this game that have told me, yeah, Wildcard will replace all of your shit. Even if, you know, someone comes in and steals it, they'll replace it. So, from the research that I gathered, I came to the conclusion that Wildcard changed their code of conduct when it comes to inciting because so many people were filing tickets about inciting. Because every single ticket we put in, no matter how much proof we showed, Wildcard would not take action against these guys. We even showed the proof. Who the fuck? Hello? Random fucking skiff? Okay. That's... Normally people don't come over here. 2 survivors, so... the only other survivor on the server with me. That's fucking. Anyways, we even showed them the proof that the PayPal proof, because selling for real life currency breaks their code of conduct. It clearly states in their code of conduct, and I will try to link their code of conduct in this video to just so y'all can see how many things these guys broke doing this. They have broken the code of conduct repeatedly for harassment, for trying to sell for real life currency, for asking, oh, I didn't say this. One of the last times Freya was in a party with Elder Doof, him and his friends had actually asked Freya if she would do maid porn videos for them and send them the videos. Again, no low these guys won't stoop to. So that's just a few of the things. One of the GMs at one point, I believe, said, "Oh, it's broken," and I started schooling that GM. I was like, no. This breaks your code of conduct. This breaks your code of conduct. This breaks your code of conduct. This proof here breaks your code of conduct. And actually requested for another GM. Because I filed another ticket after my ticket was closed. And was like, I want to speak to someone else on this matter. Then that GM shot us down. The new GM was like, okay, well, you haven't shown any proof. Show us some proof of them selling for real life money. We did that. Then that GM came back and said, oh, well, you showed no proof of it happening in game. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, we showed you the pictures of the transaction that we tried to do with these guys. And all you have to do, and we even gave them the dude's fucking Xbox gamer tag. I was like, all y'all have to do to see that we are telling the truth, because one of these guys has his real name on his Xbox profile. All you have to do is type in his fucking gamer tag, look at his real name on his gamer tag, look at his name on his PayPal, and that's proof right there. We even listed how much he was asking us to pay him, showed that in the transaction, and the GM was like, oh, well, you didn't show us any proof in game. It was like, that's not what you asked for, though, wild card. You asked for proof, period. You didn't say what specific proof. You said, show us proof. And when I did that, suddenly you changed the whole scenario, the whole narrative. Just so y'all wouldn't have to do anything. Then, as Elder is fucking getting pissed off at us, he ended up coming over to my base and not only killing our tames, but started putting tames in front of all of my doors. He had a tame there. 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 He had dodos in front of this fucking door right here. He put fucking tames in front of this fucking door, trying to prevent me from being able to do anything. I had to submit a ticket for that, and luckily the GMs came in and did something about that with Elder. So I had to watch some of my own tames be wiped because of Elder, because the tame he posted in front of this door was a tech raptor of mine. God damn it, I hate it when that happens. Was a fuck. Stop, game, please. Work with me for a change. You don't want to, but work with me. Was a tech raptor named Sally that I had. Which really doesn't hurt my feelings. I have new tech raptors. You know, like I said, the tames can be replaced easily. But and like I said, and the night he was doing that was the same night he posted my tribe mate's phone number in global chat. And shit. So luckily Wildcard did something about that, otherwise I would have had to wait the fucking week and hope that Elder hadn't gotten on, because I've blocked him, I can't see when he gets on anymore, and hope that he wasn't going to come over and keep the fucking tames rendered and fed. Otherwise, I might still be dealing with tames in front of my fucking doors and shit. So, and according to information I've gotten, Elder hasn't been seen in parties or anything like that. So, I'm assuming maybe Wildcard banned him for posting my tribe mate's phone number in global chat. I'm hoping. It's what he fucking deserves, to be honest. But I get it to a certain degree as to why they would change their code of conduct. But when you show all of this proof and Wildcard does nothing, that basically tells me that they don't care about children, they don't care about women, and they just don't care about their fan base at all. And yet they want to push Arc 2 onto us. And go, oh, Arc 2 is going to be such a great game. When I've made the decision that because of... Actually, I made my final decision today because the dude that was incited by another guy on my server put in a ticket. And you know what Wildcard did for this person? And I'm not mad at the person at all, because I'm glad he got some shit back. Wildcard gave them a compensation package of random stuff. Said, hey, we don't do anything about inciting, but what we can do is give you a compensation package, give us the coordinates of a vault base, and we will make sure that that stuff gets put into that vault for you. But yet told, let's see, I put in a ticket, my wife put in a ticket, my friend Chris, who is in another tribe, put in a ticket, my friend Az, who built my wife's base, built 2 of my buildings, put in a ticket, Queen put in a ticket, Chicken put in a ticket, Freya put in a ticket, Void put in a ticket, Kitty put in a ticket, Ducky and her friends all put in tickets. That's at least 10 plus tickets, and Wildcard told all of us the same thing. We don't do anything about inciting. Have a nice day. Didn't offer us. And I know this is going to sound like jealousy, but it's not. Because again, I got my base back. Ducky's in the process of getting some of her shit back. So it's not jealousy. It's just a point that I want to make. That Wildcard, depending on what GM speaks to you, depends on whether or not anything is going to get done. Because the other guy that was incited on this server by the other person didn't speak to any of the GMs me or any of the rest of us spoke to. And that GM was nice enough to actually do something and say, hey, we can't reverse the merge, we can't, you know, we can't do this, but this is within our power to do, and gave them a compensation package. But yet 10 plus people were all told to basically fuck off by Wildcard, and yet they expect us to want to play their new game when it comes out. And like I said, to my understanding, Wildcard used to be much better about this kind of shit. but yet people are still continuing to do this shit to people. And you know, when a company does a 24-hour live stream for donation money for charity like the Children's Miracle Network, and they claim to care about children, and yet someone like Elder or someone like Peter's allowed to go and steal from a 13-year-old child, that doesn't show me that you care about children. That shows me you don't give a shit. And before I learned this new information today, I was gonna give Ark 2 a 48-hour trial to see how I liked it, but I don't even think I want to do that now. Because why should I reward Wildcard and play their new game, potentially buy their new game, when they're so unwilling to help us? We can't get a hold of anyone above a GM, which means we can't, and I understand, we can't get into contact with any of the developers, we can't get into contact with people like Cedric, because there's no way to. I understand that if they had, like, public emails, they would probably be flooded with bullshit, but it's just so frustrating that we had to do Wildcard's job for them just to get our shit back. They took all of our Striders. I had to spend days grinding out Poly when I got my base back, which was no big deal. To buy more Striders, I had to go pick up the Striders, or at least most of them. I think 4 of them were delivered to me, so appreciate that. And you know, slowly but surely, I am making a tame collection that, in my opinion, is going to be 10 times better than the one I had. But I lost a week of the Halloween event because this whole incident started the last week of the Halloween event. I missed doing shit during the Extra Life event. I did a little bit, but I wasn't able to do a lot because every time we would try to start doing something, these horrible, disgusting people would have some kind of new drama that they were causing, whether with us or somebody. And it's just ridiculous. No matter how much proof you show certain GMs, they refuse to do anything about the issues in this game. They still have itty-bitty bullshit glitches and bugs and shit. Like sometimes when I come in to this fucking game, all of my troughs at this pen right here will be on, and I will literally have to, and if you think about this, oh, that's cool. I will have to turn on and off all of these fucking troughs to get rid of all of the fucking green. And it's just weird because I don't know if that's a visual glitch or bug on their end, or if it's just something that happens. But it's little shit like that Wildcard could be fixing to make our lives just a little bit easier till something drastic happens, like someone coming into their fucking game and hacking it. Then they want to get off their asses and actually do something. And they've done so many fucking patches, okay? You know, they've done so many patches. You know, and they're fixed things like the Karcha losing taming affinity, um, and shit like that. They'll fix a number of issues for Fjordur in single player. They'll fix a crash. They'll fix a Kacha disappearing on Genesis and shit. But they never really recently started telling you what they're fixing, because most of the time they'll just post shit like fixed an exploit. Which I get it. I get a little bit. They don't want you to actually know what the exploit is, because they don't want you to then try to find another way to X game. They won't fix the duping issue on Gen 2. You constantly have people on Gen 2 going, oh, it's just Wildcard's shitty ass servers. Okay, then why don't I crash just as much on Extinction as I do on Gen 2? Why don't I crash just as much on Crystal Isles as I do on Gen 2? Answer: because on Gen 2 you're fucking duping. And all you're doing is making excuses so people can continue to dupe. Every time I get on the server and someone starts bitching about my Gen 2 server, I'm like, it's duping, and people will start making excuses. Like, oh no, it's not duping, it's the amount of people on the server. Motherfucker, there are 7 people on this goddamn server right now. Stop making excuses. Because all you're doing is allowing Wildcard to continue to do nothing about it. During events, I can barely fucking play on Gen 2. Some days are better than others, but during events, you can fucking forget about playing on my Gen 2 server. Today alone, I have crashed on Gen 2 5 times, trying to transfer shit from Gen 2 to other servers. And if it wasn't for the fact that I like Gen 2, I wouldn't play on Gen 2 because of that reason right there. And I understand Wildcard tried to fix the duping problem, but they don't they ignore it now, because to them the issue's fixed and it's not. And yet they want people to play Arc 2 because Arc 2's going to be fixed and Arc 2's going to be so much better, and I can't with these people. If it wasn't for the fact that I play this game to get away from my real world problems, my real life problems, I'd probably quit and give away all of my shit, honestly. But I worked for 10 months with the help of, like I said, great friends and shit, to try to get into a position where I could start giving away shit. I used to build bases for people. I can't tell you the amount of times people have been like, oh, can you help me build a base? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I even made a second Xbox account so I wouldn't have to leave my tribe constantly and wait for a tribe mate to get on to re-add me. I made a second account just so I could mind wipe when I need to, because it's actually a crafting character. But I mind wipe so I can, build for people. And, Peter gave this persona of himself that he was like Robin Hood. That he was going around hitting people who were well off and giving away their shit. No, you're not giving away our shit, you're selling our shit. And it's disgusting. That's not what Robin Hood did. Robin Hood stole from the rich who would take advantage of other people and would give away that wealth to people in need. He didn't steal from rich people who were helping other people, who were actually sharing their wealth, was sharing with other people. Robin Hood never hit people like that. But yet, when I pointed that out to Peter, Peter's like, oh no, then I'm not Robin Hood. Well, no fucking shit, you're not Robin Hood. You're a fucking disgusting ass person is what you are. Who just wants to make excuses And then the second funniest thing I think I heard actually came from Elder when Elder claimed he was making 6 figures working. Motherfucker, if you're making 6 figures, why are you stealing people's bases and selling them for money? You don't work a 6 figure job. You're probably living in your fucking parents' basement. Like, I don't get these people. And I don't get the bullshit they try to spew to people. But yet, Wildcard doesn't give a shit. Wildcard is very, very upsetting. And I was going to try to invite some people in to discuss this further, but what I'm going to have to do is do this in 2 parts because other people, and I get that, and I'm cool with that. I'm not mad at all about that. But Wildcard doesn't understand the position that everyone's being put in here. That's a name I haven't seen on the server before, but you know, I just downsized, so it's not like they're laying free, and I'm about to downsize even more. And shit. So, because what Elder did to my tribe mate is essentially doxing. It's called doxing. Yeah, he didn't put a lot of information in chat, but he put enough information in chat. And was basically like, someone gets your phone number and starts harassing you. Besides us, it's not my problem. And like I said, we're not giving up. We're not saying that, you know, these 2 guys, 3 guys, however many guys was really involved, won. We won. The moment Elder started tossing out our shit and killing it, we won. We beat him. We beat him game. We got our base back. We got all of our land back. And some extra land. And, you know, he can sit in his basement and say, oh, I beat y'all. Y'all lost. You're the one killing our shit in front of us. You're the one going on this rant about how this server belongs to you and how you can do whatever you want. No. That's not a winner in my... That's not someone who wins, who loses. And I hope someone watches this, hears the frustration from just one of their players. Because I think their code of conduct needs to once again be changed. I think the conduct needs to include inciting again. Because to work, and to put this into perspective, and this is hopefully going to be the last thing I bring up. This building right here, my big breeding pen, this here, my crafting building, and this, as well as my trough areas and my cloners, were all donated to me. That's my fucking cheating. God damn it. Were donated to me. These were built for me. My wife's whole base was built and donated to her. These 2 pieces of land, this land here, and my wife's piece of land, was donated to us by a really dear friend of ours who has given us a lot. Okay, that's the second time now I've seen that skip. Now there's 3. And I built everything else. I built that building. I built my small breeding pen. I built the 2 buildings behind it. I built all of that. Technically speaking, my tribe mate originally built that building down there, but I rebuilt it in glass and metal. And I built everything else we have on this server. Just so I could have tribe mates come over and play with us, so I could donate shit to people, stuff to that nature. God damn it. Why does it take me 3 or 4 fucking tries to get back to class? And shit. And to have that all taken from me was probably that's gonna be a whole nother problem I'm gonna have to fix. Because this was my main server when this happened. This is my raising server. This was the server that I came to craft all of my stuff. Different servers to, again, either help myself or help someone else. I can't tell you the amount of times that I have built foundation for people just so I could be cis. And to have all of that pulled, there is still a person. Their name is Pink. That I was actually in the middle of helping. The thing start, and I haven't gotten back to them yet. So I can say, hey, I can bring my second character over and continue building your base for you. Because I had this whole design in my head to build like a 3 or 4, 5-story base for them. And I was using all of my materials to do it. And I had to put that all on hold because of a group of disgusting, deplorable cowards. Because they decided that they have no enjoyment in life other than making other people's lives on this game a living hell. But what people like that and what Wildcard doesn't understand is that people are going to continue to be nice on this game. There's still, for all of the disgusting people that are on this game, there are just as many kind-hearted people. I cannot tell you how many people brought clones over to me to clone drop on my cloners after I got my extinction base back. How many people came over to my Gen 2 to drop on my cloners there and said, hey, I won't charge you full price. Because I get it. I understand. And it's a damn shame that us, along with other kind people, have to do Wildcard's job for them. I cannot express my disappointment enough, my frustration enough, my anger enough in Wildcard. To show them all of the proof that we had, all of the proof other people had. Our stories were all lining up with other people's stories. We were linking their tickets to ours and ours to theirs, and Wildcard ignored 10 plus people. 10 plus, because I don't know how many of Ducky's friends, how many of Void's friends, how many of Kitty's friends put in tickets. But just the people I named. 10 fucking people. And we get told that we can't get anything. Even a compensation package for this. Now, I will be honest. I did request a rollback on Extinction. Because if they had just rolled it back to the previous save, probably not only mine, but another person's stuff would have been restored on this server. 2 more people's stuff would have been restored on this server. And I actually forgot to include one other person in my story. Because when we got our base back, I got her stuff back too. And her and her were both to the point they were like, we don't want to play Ark anymore. We're going to play Conan now. So, you know, I offered to have someone come over, pick up all of their shit so they could rebuild. They were like, no, we're not interested anymore. You can keep our shit. And I know losing 2 or 3 people probably doesn't affect Wildcard much, but, you know, it's just one of those things that sadly could have been prevented if they had just reached out a little bit more and done a little bit more. To me, it's just Wildcard telling us all that they don't care. They've made their money off of this game. They'll make their millions off of Ark 2. It may or may not be shittier than the first game. It might, you know, it might tank. It might be the best fucking game to ever fucking be released. I don't know. It probably won't be, but, you know, you never know. It could end up Game of the Year next year or whenever the fuck they decide to release the damn game. Who knows? Probably won't, but who knows? They'll make their money, and just like every other game company, they will continue to either show they don't care or, like other companies, start to show that they care. So, at the end of the day, if anyone else has stories they would like to share, I guess leave a comment on the video when it finally goes up on YouTube. And let's get together. Maybe I'll do a podcast on Twitch, and we can go more into details about all of this different shit and whatnot, and get some shit done. I felt like I needed to tell this story to show how upset not only myself but other people are with Wildcard. It's just a shame I don't have more time to actually get some of these people in party and get their stories out there and get their emotions towards Wildcard out, because I think Wildcard needs to start hearing from us more, and Wildcard needs to start taking our feelings into account. And, you know, imagine what it would be like for them if they got on a game, lost everything due to someone else exploiting people, which, by the way, exploiting people does go against their terms of their code of conduct. I almost said terms of service. It's the same fucking thing. Goes against their code of conduct, but, you know, again, they don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, people are rebuilding. We're rebuilding better. I'm almost done, no more. And we will move on. I hope everyone enjoys their morning, evening, afternoon, whatever they are enjoying when this video goes up. And I got shit to do. I gotta go help Ducky with some shit. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy that a lot. And by the time this video goes up, I will have already been done helping Ducky. But I'm gonna go help Ducky and have some fun. I'm gonna raise some shit, buy some more shit, and continue to rebuild my shit better than it was before. Y'all stay cool, y'all stay happy, and I will see y'all in the next stream, video, whatever. You know, have fun.